Okay, listen to me. If you want banana bread, I know banana is high insulin, but if you put it with that white flour trash, it's going to be even worse. But, so you can even use plantain. That's what I did the other day. I didn't realize I bought plantain. And so I made plantain bread. It definitely was fine. Very delicious. But it just felt like it was missing that banana punch. So, I used coconut flour and almond flour. And coconut oil instead of the butter. This tastes so moist and beautiful and wonderful. Oh my goodness. Just look up keto banana bread, which is kind of like an oxymoron because keto, you wouldn't eat bananas, but the recipe comes up anyway. Mr. Snowman, can you please tell me what you have inside? Ooh, look at that, everybody. Guess what? These are chocolate chip cookies, but they are, yes, keto style. And that means that for this recipe, I think I used just the coconut flour and maybe a little bit of almond. I didn't have much almond left. And Lily's chocolate chips, which is the healthier sugar, slow to enter into your body, into your bloodstream, chocolate chips. So this is a guilt-free snack, okay? And healthy too. All right, see this? We're getting ready. You know what we're getting ready for? We're getting ready to learn how to...
So...
Don't make it sound like it's not a big deal.
So...
Oh, you mean so. Right.
Like, so
okay.
like...
Sorry, okay. Right.
I don't know what this is supposed to mean, but like going in and out.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a sewing machine that we have no idea what to do with. We used to have a simpler one, and I guess the kids could figure out, well, now this is the real deal.
We got it for Christmas, and it's so big.
Yes, and we need a CD for this, right?
Yes,
so that's what we're doing right now, so wish us luck. See, you can have blueberry muffins that are keto friendly, which means that you are going to bless your body. Yes, you are not going to have sugars going into your bloodstream so fast that insulin has to go shooting in your cells to break it all down until your body can deal with it. Okay? And now your blood sugars are going to be level, and then you can even be in fat burning mode if you really want to go there. All you have to do is have keto ingredients. Even if you're not living a keto diet, you can still have a blessed recipe. Well, hello. I am Lisa Fry, the Catholic Unschooler. This is the next day. Yes. And I'll often do that. Sometimes I'll do that where I won't be able to get a whole video in for you in one day. And depending on how many I might already have stored away, or what kind of day I would like with my family. You know, I try to get whatever I can for you. So I would just like to say that today I had my procedure. I had my lung test yesterday, so we're waiting for the results on that next week. And today I had my procedure to find out if things were looking good as far as the uterus goes. I'm sorry to be so personal. I don't really like doing that, but you know what? I say, for your sake, if there is anybody out there that may have to have these types of things going on, if you have asthma or any kind of COPD or whatever, the lung test was very challenging, quite annoying, and at parts, you know, enjoyable, and other times just, it felt like torture. Because you have to blow it out, and that's very difficult to do, the way they ask you to do it. But we got it done. We'll find out the results. And today's, oh my gosh, today's procedure was not fun. It was not fun so much that when they left, I bawled like a baby. It was terrible. I didn't like it, but like my mother-in-law says, it's not the worst thing in the world, and I get that. And there are people who are suffering more, so with that in mind, it was, you know, quite terrible, but yeah. So anyway, I am going to the skate park today. Okay, maybe we can read something. Maybe. All right, so I just want to say that the other day I was enduring something, so I'm going to put up seven subscribers' names and their channels up on this video, and ask God to give them grace through my offering. So I was trying to be brave today for 5 subscribers, so here they are. And for yesterday I had to endure something, so I will put 2 subscribers. I would like to thank all of you for helping me to be strong in times of my weakness. So, and I pray that God will give my sufferings and my offerings to you in return, so that you may do God's will on this day. God bless you all. Hello, I'm Lisa Fry, the Catholic Unschooler, and today we are going to look at some of the rules for discerning the spirits in the spiritual exercises of Saint Ignatius of Loyola. So if you want to see the beginning parts of all of this, you can go to the playlist that I have here on my channel and you can study along with me. Today we are looking at some of the odors, as Saint Ignatius would call it. We have, let's see, there are 6 odors altogether. And right now, let's see, we have already talked about the first one being sadness, the second, regret, third, we're going to look at impediments. Those are things that hinder you, okay? So, okay, the devil excels in making the practice of virtue seem too difficult. He blows out of proportion all the difficulties. How many people think that a really Christian life is impossible? That there are insurmountable difficulties in saving oneself, in practicing chastity according to one's state of life, in living as a Christian in marriage. Think of the horror at the thought of not appearing like the rest of the world, which has persuaded so many great Christians to dishonor themselves by impure fashions. How many times has a panic pregnancy persuaded an allegedly Catholic woman to commit an infanticide, a crime which cries to heaven for vengeance before God, to be deprived of that eternal treasure, that unequaled joy for the whole family which a newly born baby brings, and which, as we know, provides also the health and happiness of the woman. The devil inflates all the difficulties and at the same time hides that which renders the Christian life easy. Flight from occasions of sin, prayer, the sacraments, the profound joys of a Christian family, the eternal bliss, etc. When I came back to the church from being away from it for 10 years, it was really hard, okay? I remember thinking, oh my gosh, like there are so many rules to follow. There are so many things to know and remember, and trying to keep up with it all was very difficult. But you have to remember that Jesus does say that pick up your cross daily, okay? So it's not easy. However, the devil does come and he lies to us and makes it even more exaggerated than it really is. So just keep that in your mind as you're trying to live a virtuous, holy life, that all things are possible with God, okay? And he wouldn't give you anything too much that you couldn't handle it, no matter what it was, okay? So he knows what he's doing. As my mother says, God is not stupid. And yeah, so all right, so now we're going to talk about disturbance. Okay, disturbance is the fourth odor that the devil is near. All trouble comes from the devil. I'll say that again. All trouble comes from the devil, said St. John Birchmans, including moody temperaments and vivid emotions. I'll read that again. Including moody temperaments and vivid emotions. Sometimes in the family, there is tension in the air. The wife loses her temper. The children are particularly unbearable. The father is boxing everyone's ears. Know that the devil is present. There he wins every time. Foolish things are said and done. Sin is committed more or less gravely and more or less numerously. We will explain further on the means to counterattack the devil's impact. One must warn the children against certain dissipations or feelings of anger or pride which the devil makes use of. Okay, so all trouble comes from the devil. You might say to yourself, well, you know, it's not the devil, it's my husband. It's not the devil, it's my wife. It's not the devil, it's my children. It's not the devil, it's my mother-in-law. It's not the devil, it's my father-in-law. It's not the devil, it's my friend. All trouble comes from the devil. Remember now, Holy Scripture does talk about how it's not against flesh and blood. It's true that people are the ones that are doing it when it's happening. However, all trouble comes from the devil, okay? Moody temperaments. So when something like that, whether it's coming from me or somebody in my house, I start to pray. When I know that I see my husband in the home and he's ready to, you know, wonder what's happening. Oh, where's the remote control? Whoever has it, they're never going to see it again. Who loses it? Oh, and he gets really upset. I start to pray. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Or I say a prayer to Saint Joseph, who is the protector of the Holy Family. So I start to pray because I do recognize that he can have a choice to keep his cool or lose his cool. And I want him to win. So I ask for heaven to come and support him. So sometimes in the family there is tension in the air. Don't we know that? So if I know that I have to say something to somebody in the family, maybe by the phone or in my household, wherever it is, I will pray first to their guardian angel to prepare them for what I'm about to say, so they will receive it well. Know that the devil is present. There he wins every time foolish things are said and done. Sin is committed more or less gravely. So if I see that the children are starting, are talking to each other not in a nice way, maybe it goes on and on and on, I start to pray, or maybe I'll say, okay, everybody, we need to pray. Maybe I'll bring them into it, you see? If I know they're in the other room, I pray. If they're close by, I'll say, knock it off, or we need to pray right now, okay? Or maybe I'll have them go pray. I say, go, it depends on what they're doing. I'll say, I want you to go look at, maybe they need to apologize. I'll say, go to the picture of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and ask God to forgive you or to give you strength. Or if they're acting immodest or something, I would say, go to the picture of Our Lady and ask her to help you to be modest in what you're saying, or whatever it is you're talking about, or okay. So Vigilate. Foolish things are said and done. Sin is committed more or less gravely and more or less numerously. Vigilate. Pray. We have to stay on top of things. You cannot just live your life like you're going through a big daze. You have to pay attention. If you lose sight of what's really happening, you know, you just can't live in the moment and go by your emotions. You have to check yourself all the time. Okay? We will explain further on the means to counterattack the devil's impact. One must warn the children against certain dissipations or feelings of anger or pride. Okay, so we always want to take our children, and no matter how old, and you always have to make sure, my father still does it with me, we have to constantly check to see if how we're thinking is aligned with God. This is one of the reasons why loving God is so important, because we have to make sure that our mind is in the proper place. Are we thinking clearly? Are we being irrational? How do you know you're being irrational? Okay, this is why it's very good to study. Pay attention. How I talked to Mr. Fry today, was I rude at all? Okay, what do I do about it? Do I continue? Do I say, well, how he's treating me, he deserves it? You and I are held accountable for ourselves, no matter what, no matter how we're being treated. So I would like to thank you very much. We will complete this book on rules for discerning the spirits. And if you are interested in purchasing one for yourself, you can call 1-800-966-7337. That's to order, that's the order line. Okay, so this is by Angelus Press. Okay, again, rules for discerning the spirits in the spiritual exercises of Saint Ignatius of Loyola. May God bless you.